Hi everybody, this is Dazzle representing the Zero Logic League on the USPC servers and DCUO Unlimited. I'm here talking to you guys about Gates with one of my cohorts here, Babs,
Hi, guys.
and we're going to talk to you about Gates here. Now, I wasn't able to record the first part of this raid, so it's basically starting off from the archers part. Um, it's a whole league run between all the Zero Logic people. Miku, Grenko, Sekhmet, Alpha Sigma, Ozzy, Jewel, and of course, Babs as Volterra. So yeah, we are basically just going through some of the mobs here. Now, what I like about this part, and that gets really hard sometimes, is the power cost. A lot of the times, with other trollers, this is where you know if they control this raid or not, because the power will go down, and you could see me right next to Volterra. We're just going back and forth, doing the seesaw effect. Um, how do you ran this once before, right, Babs? So you seen this already. How was it the second time different from the first time, especially in this mob?
Well, you always have to worry about how your other person is going to play against your other troller. And once you kind of see how they work, you kind of figure out how you're going to work around them. And I was secondary troller, I was sub troller. So that meant that I had to make sure that I didn't pot, and I had to make sure that I got that power out whenever possible.
Yeah, I mean it's also very important. All those things are really important, and a lot of the times, you'll have to make sure that those things don't happen, especially the whole pot thing. And the problem with this is that for gates to be really smooth, the DPSs need to like constantly be burning power,
Which means
and
they're hogs. They're complete hogs on it,
exactly.
and you've got to keep pumping it out till your fingers bleed sometimes.
Pretty much. And see, like here, our friend Miku over there, you can see his blue bar go down immediately as soon as it goes up. So, and the thing about Miku is that he is a fire DPS. So his powers are basically AoE based. So he's all about this. This is his time to shine. It's all about the mobs for him. And being in a closed space like that, the healers also have to work overtime because the tank is over there trying to get aggro as much as he can and pull everything, and everybody's trying to stay alive, but they're so close to enemies. You see me here just kind of standing around, but the tank does a great job of keeping the aggro, so I barely get touched, and so does everybody else.
Right. In this situation, too, it can get really confusing really fast. That's why you got to keep your eyes on people, and especially got to keep your eye on the energy bar if you're a troller.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, it's really cool in this part because you're basically ushering the archers down these stairways, and it's a small confined space and everything, and you're trying for them not to die. But a lot of the times it serves as a bottleneck. As soon as you go down to this little stairs all the way down, you'll see that everybody gets trapped on the door and people will start dying. And I believe this. I don't know if it'll skip or some point, but the many times will die at this point because it's just like the tank will go a little bit too further or the people stay back, and it's a good way. Like you can see Miku's already down there, and I'm just trying to stay in the middle over here with Grenko and Sekhmet and all that,
Right. And
and
you
even the
also,
tank. Yeah.
yeah, you'll also notice that, we try to keep within those circles as best we can.
Yes.
Just so we can get those heals out. And also, you'll notice a lot of seesawing back and forth. When I see myself get flashed, I immediately flash back, as you can just see right there.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, that's very important, especially that's like one of those, oh snap, I don't have any power moments where you have to really do it. And I mean, look at the power. The power right now is pretty much great. Like Grenko has, half bar, and Miku's just a power hog, so he's just burning through them. But pretty much everybody else, the healers and the tank have good power. So as long as they do, the DPSs can deal with a little bit of less power. At least if you have them half bar. So
Right, right.
that's really important. So yeah, we were just bottlenecking here. Luckily, in this part, we just kind of ran through and we didn't really have much problems. If you notice, both Segment and Jewel are sorcery, and you can see two circle of protection circles around. So they space each other really well, and that's important in this part, especially in the confined area. I'm over here looking at the group loot and stuff like that. I jumped a little bit because we tried this part right here and we failed. We just went in there and
Yeah.
yeah, it
We
wasn't
got
very
a
good.
little smashed, yeah.
Yeah,
There's
so
you and I again, right there.
exactly. We're right there waiting. It's important to know that the tank is right there in the front, right? Jewel gets in front of the tank so that they can put the circle of protection. But everybody else is really much behind the tank because you want to let the tank go in first and do his thing and pull and everything. There's that little spider going around me. That spider will always go around that area to try to hit the archers from the back. So it's important that the DPS is get the aggro in the tank and all that stuff, or just try to burn him as fast as possible.
Right, right.
So yeah, you basically see it's burning pretty fast. It should be noted that most of the members here are of a combat rating of 80-ish. At least Miku, Grenko, Sekhmet, and me, Ozzy, and Joel were pretty much. So
Right.
I believe at that time you weren't even a 70 yet. So we
No.
actually had to usher it in, right? We walked into the portal.
Yeah, you walked me in. I was a 68 at the time, I believe. I think Joelle was 2, if I
Yeah, he
recall
was
correctly.
also. Yeah. Yeah, so this raid is definitely possible. You can see I completely forgot about the pot and just realized it while I was rezzing
Right.
somebody up. So
Yeah, you gotta have to be careful with that, especially with resing people, because usually if you do that, then you're gonna lose time on getting energy to people. And I can
yeah,
just, it looks like you just did a, what, word of wisdom or
word of power.
word
Yeah,
of power. That's the word, that's the name of it, yeah. Which
yeah,
is
I just
a
did that.
great little trick they've got now. They've got those iconics working great now.
Yeah, and you want to keep those for the boss, like this part, where it is necessary. I mean, when you're in the mobs, like if you're in the stairs, I try to just not do it as much because you don't want to just use it, and then when you go to the boss, you don't have it, and the problem is that I have, I was picking somebody up because I had the word of power, and I was
Right.
like, whatever happens, I'll just do that.
Well, you will come into those situations in which you really just don't have a choice. If you got too many people down, you need to get them up. You just have to do the best you can.
Yeah, pretty much. And sometimes, people are taking care of business, and being a main troller, it's probably not the best idea to do what I just did, but I did it because I've done it plenty of times, and I was okay with doing it. But usually, you want another DPS, or maybe even the sub troller or whoever can. But you see, it's easy to say that now, but when you're in a raid,
Right.
it's a different story, obviously.
Well, it's the
Um,
heat of the moment. Things can get out of hand, and the thing is everyone's got to watch out for their buddy. Whoever's on your left and right, if you see someone go down and you're not a major player, then you run to them and you get them up as fast as possible.
Yeah, definitely. Now there was a part here that I didn't mention, and really, because we're a lot of us in this raid were a higher combat rating, we didn't really use. But behind me or the other way, there are statues with spears, and you can activate them to take down the Ravager's shields. And a lot of times the sub-troller will do that, but in this case, we were just kicking so much butt that we didn't really have to, and that happens a lot of times. I remember, I mean, I don't really ever remember ever doing that in any raid, just because you didn't really have to. You know. Oh, there it is, picking up somebody up. Because oh, and see, he goes down again because he wants to get up immediately, and he should at least try not to for the moment.
Yeah, if you've got
Um,
any stun effects or anything, or a big boss near you, try to wait as long as possible before you actually get yourself back up again, because the moment you get back up, you're going to smack right back down again.
yeah, I mean, and weigh the situation because obviously there are going to be times where it's going to be hard to pick him up, but you still want to, and the other person, hopefully the other person knows enough to not do it and not get up immediately or like that, and you'll see later on when we do the final boss, the Avatar of Magic, that there's times where you're confined to a space where you can't pick somebody up. And those times you either have to wipe or you have to kind of just go for it and risk it. So, but that's just how raids are sometimes.
Right? It's mostly a situation. If it looks like it's you can do it, do it. If you can't, well, you can't.
Yeah, exactly. So we just finished this part right here, and we're on our way to Circe, and we have here just another set of mobs. This part is really easy. There really isn't a lot of mobs in this part, at least not as much as the stairs.
Right.
And it also is a wider space, so it's you can do a lot in this part. Yeah, as you can see, there's almost no loss of power except for Miku, just because he loves power.
Yeah, but if
Uh,
you're gonna have those big hits, they're gonna take big power. So
yeah,
you just
exactly.
expect it.
Yeah, exactly. So basically, just you'll see me. I'll just regenerate my power, and if I see my power going up, I'll just throw a defib out there just so that I can get the power, regenerate power as much as I
Right.
can. I
And
never it. Oh,
yeah,
go
and
ahead.
oh, I'm sorry. And trollers, do not be afraid to take a soda. I mean,
Oh
if
yeah,
it's a situation where you need power and you need it fast and you've got a soda available, you take that soda.
yeah. Even if your health is up, just take it
Right.
just for the power.
Just for the power, if nothing else. That's why I
Yeah, I
always
mean,
make sure I have plenty of stacks on hand.
yeah, exactly. Especially for a raid, and if you just started doing gates, it's very important to do that. In my case, I actually took a Prometheum lockbox consumable, so I didn't really need a lot of power because I got more than plenty. But and we're seesawing. I see myself going down a little bit, and I'll make sure that I'm next to Volterra so that we can seesaw with each other and we can do it right. As you can see, we're doing it right now, actually.
Right.
Uh, yeah, you can see that me and her are going back and forth. Um, and it's cool too because you can see it. You can see the white aura and then her purple aura go out, and it's pretty much you can see the effect. Now, seriously, this is probably one of the easiest bosses in this run. She is a pushover. But don't let her fool you because she can do a really good AoE that takes out quite a few people. You'll see that. I believe Miku goes down at some point. Not that that's anything new, but because he is a little squishy. I gotta be honest.
Well, then you blame
But
Ozzy.
yeah, exactly. You just blame Ozzy. We like to blame Ozzy all the time. So yeah, I mean, basically you see me putting down the defense debuff and the precision debuff. A lot of the times, you'll also see the health debuff. Now, this doesn't necessarily help, in this type of raid, but for me, sometimes I put the the heal debuff because it's a great power interaction with mine. So if my gauze grenade electrifies, then I'll throw the heal debuff because it also adds something. See, Miku already went down. So it's good to have those power interactions, and especially if it helps you out like that.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, but you definitely want to have the defense debuff and the precision debuff.
Yeah, be very careful about how you load out yourself as a troller, because you really want to make sure you have a pretty even keel of power and also control effects and get those debuffs and just basically be prepared.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, my whole loadout is all controller loadout. It's basically, sticky bomb is pot, gauze grenade, defense debuff, sleep dart is precision, cryo foam is heal debuff, and defib is regenerating power. So my whole loadout is controller.
Right.
So we beat Circe, and We actually had to fast forward a little bit because we didn't do very well in the first time. So this is the last time that we did it, which I don't think we did it too many times. It might have been like once or maybe twice,
I think we might have
if
done it
that.
maybe twice
Yeah,
at the
yeah,
most, but we pretty much learn from our mistakes as quickly as possible. And in raids, you're going to expect to wipe at least once. If you don't, then it's great. You know, it's candy. But if you do wipe, don't be depressed about it. It happens.
yeah, yeah. And a lot of people, I know a lot of people who they rage quit real quick because they're like, oh, we can't do this, and and it's like what, and you lose somebody because of that. So
Right.
just stay calm. Believe in your team. Even if even if they're pugs, just know that these guys they should, if they're at this point in the game, they should know what to do. They can at least play their role correctly. So a good thing, good rule of thumb here is to watch out for those yellow circles on the floor. Um, you'll notice that he does a certain move um, where you can see him starting to put them down, and so I'd have to see it again just to show you guys. But
Right. And
yeah, watch
as
out
you
for
can
those.
see, we're hitting those statues.
Yes, that is very important. As soon as those statues come up, you basically go in and just start, hitting them hard. The DPSs have to hit them real hard. As you can see, I'm running around just putting the defense debuff on them, just so I can, so they could take care of them real quickly.
Right.
And it's important to go in the order that we went. So first statue next to the door, and then clockwise from there on. And I'm trying to get to the other side, uh, and I think that's you actually. You went
I
down.
believe you got me. Yep.
Okay, yeah. So I made sure that because you were there by yourself, and a lot of times you have to do the statues with a group of people. Sometimes when you get pulled, you'll get pulled across the room, and you won't you won't know what to do there. So
Yeah.
you'll be alone, and you'll be next to a statue, and it sucks. The statues do this same pull that the earth tanks do. That causes I think it's crush. They have the same type of pull, and the statues will do that.
And
I'm
also,
over here, trying to save people, and I shouldn't.
yeah, it happens. But even in those situations, when they yank you, especially if you're a flyer, you're going to crawl very slowly, or you're going to be grounded where you can't move very quickly. And sometimes you just can't help it, and that's what happens.
Yeah. See, now I'm getting his little, tornado move, and the best thing to do is just block. Just block and let the healers do their thing. If you don't block, you will go down. And that's happened several times here. Sometimes when he does that downdraft move, you'll see that you won't be able to block, but just try. Keep trying to block and it helps you. Um, in my case, try to stay away. I didn't do this, but try to stay away when you have that little tornado around you, because it does hurt other people. So it's a good
And,
thing to
and you
stay away.
just threw up another word of power. If you notice, you look at the bar, see how fast they're moving up. You're getting that energy, and you're getting it fast.
Yeah, exactly. That word of power is just like speed drain. So you want to use that in this type of situation. In this type of situation, you don't. I didn't necessarily need it, but I put it down because it was the last. I wanted to burn him fast.
Right.
Sometimes Avatar of Magic wants to stay there with a lot of health a lot of times, and we want to get power to those DPS as much as possible,
Right.
especially Miku.
He's gonna love this video.
Oh yeah, he's gonna love it. So yeah, we're trying. I'm trying to put all the debuffs on him pretty much.
Right, and you can see that we're seesawing a lot, back and forth, trying to get that power. You can see that purple aura going over Dazzle.
And there we go. He goes down. So yeah, that is the raid. Group loot wasn't really great, but I believe you got some cool stuff because I definitely didn't need that controller stuff.
Well, actually, after this raid, as I said before, I started at 68, and I ended up being 71.
Yeah, nice.
So it turned out pretty good.
All right. Well, guys, I am Dazzle,
And I'm Barbara,
and
or Babs.
have a nice day. We'll see you guys later.
See ya.